There is history everywhere in Anse La Raye, from the quaint homes to larger wooden and concrete edifices, including the Catholic Church. But first, let us visit probably the very first shop to be established in Anse La Raye. It belonged to the Ajudas and goes back 150 years. It is still a shop 150 years later.
I'm Jinta Judah.
And you're involved in so many things, but we'll get to talk about that in a little bit.
I'm a counselor, a farmer, and a businessman.
We are in a building that you told me is very, very old. Can you give us an idea of how old this building is?
I will say roughly 140 years old.
And this building is owned by a family? It was built by a family?
It was built by my grandfather.
Now, was this building always a shop, or was the family living here? What was the original when it was built?
It was a shop and a residential area upstairs.
So you're saying this shop has been here for 150 years as well?
About that. That building and the church is about the same age. If you go by the church, you'll see the date it was built.
So this is a historical building. You have to preserve this. I'm sure you wouldn't be interested in destroying this anytime soon.
That's one of the nicest buildings on island right now, and we have no plan of changing the design, or knocking it down. We are planning to restore it, but we want to work with the government or the National Trust on it, because probably we need some direction about how to go about doing it.
Now, you're involved in quite a number of things. The last time we met you was in Canaries, and you were assisting. There was a big concert there. Talk to us about your involvement in sound.
Yeah, I've been into the music entertainment business for the past, I'll say, 40 years, and been into hi-fi, hooking up for concerts, and I run a popular nightclub at the waterfront, the Moonshine, and it's a major part of my life right now, because that's where the majority of my income is coming from.
As you mentioned, Moonshine, we know the Anse La Raye Fish Fry was organized to generate economic activity for the community. We just spoke to a fisherman who said that it works out for them in most of the times. As somebody who's been in the village and you've seen the Fish Fry event, how would you describe its growth, and would you describe where it is right now?
When Fish Fry first started, it was the main driver of our local economy. I will say it used to bring in like close to $80,000 in our local economy on a weekly basis. But right now, because of division in the association, the factions, so they created all that problem for Fish Fry. So right now it's on its dying bed, and what turned out lately was the election of the new executive, and it was encouraged by the council, the village council. And right now, the people who are elected, I think they're young, they're smart and bright people. I think they will try and see if they can work with the government to bring it back to where it was before. Because we can't allow the village to be that dead. There is nothing going on. The amount of people that are out of work, all the little shops, the farmers, the fishermen, they were making a good living out of the fish fry, The money was circulating in the place, but right now you can see the place is dead. It's more like a ghost town now. There is no economic activities going on.
Calabash community will certainly revisit Anse La Raye to speak with the committee in charge of reviving the Anse La Raye Seafood Festival. The fish fry, as it is popularly known, is on hiatus for the Lenten period. You're also a councillor, as you mentioned, and you're not very far from the council office right next door. Talk to us about this community support for the council. How critical is it to have a well-functioning council in the community?
Really, when we were appointed, when we took office, we had a lot of problems to hammer out. This council wasn't, before we came in, they were not receiving a penny from revenue. People were not paying booths. People were not paying trade license. People were vending. They were not paying, you know, it was like a free-for-all, you know. And we had it tough to get people to understand that they got to pay the dues. They got to pay the taxes. They got to pay the licenses, you know. We had a major problem with the vendors because most of them was owing more than, I'll say, 6 years. They had a booth over there, and it was like $1 a day. It was more like $40 a month. And we went into agreement with them. We had to cancel all this time they were owing, and we had them to sign a new agreement. And so far, it's working pretty well. The council right now is collecting some revenue from the booths. I think we have like 15 or 16 booths by the bay.
Now, we spoke with the fishermen a while ago about basically how fishing is doing. You're into farming yourself. How is the agriculture sector in Anse La Raye?
Really, I won't say that on TV, but you know the kind of farming the young guys want to do. And it's a problem with unemployment, you know. We have too many unemployed people in the village. And you know what I create? Gangs, and name it. Farmers who illegal farmers, and things like that, you know. And I think what the government should really do is try and see if they can get some investors to come and invest in the tourist industry, because we are blessed to have all these nice beaches around, you know. And we are so close to Castries, you know, so if we have like a major tourist plant within our area, I think it will transform this area overnight.
Was your farm affected by the trough?
Completely. It's just a start all over again. I had like over 10 acres in plantain, and all that was down. My drains were silted, so I had to redo everything all over. I lost a few cattle. My pastures was ruined, my fencing washed away, irrigation. So you know, when you're a farmer, you must have guts. If you don't have guts, you run. You know, you leave the industry.
Like canneries, the rivers need to be desilted, especially in areas close to population centers. Drainage is a major headache for the community, with stagnant water creating a health threat and inviting the indiscriminate dumping of garbage. This is a serious concern for Gent Joda.
We have another problem with our flooding in Anse La Raye. We have a mangrove that almost choked that river already, almost blocked the waterway, and right now it's acting like a dam. So whenever you have debris coming down, it traps the debris and acts like a dam, and the water backs up in the village.
The mangrove swamp that was referred to earlier has apparently been seriously damaged and is heavily clogged. The wall of gabion baskets has collapsed in some places, providing little protection for homes nearby. This is Calabash Community, and our focus today is on Anse La Raye.